If you've ever traveled internationally, maybe you've had this experience. You know, you land, you have to get in this long line, you have to wait there for a while, you have to go to the customs agent, hand over your passport, make some small talk until the customs agent stamps your passport, and then you can finally move on. It's a little annoying, but it's really not the end of the world. It's a very different situation from when you first get your ticket and you have to go through security. There, you can actually make a few requests and it completely makes sense. You know, you don't want to walk through the metal detector? That's fine. The TSA agents can give you a pat down. You don't want to have the pat down in public? That's fine. They can take you to a separate room. The TSA even specifies on their website that if you do have to have a pat down, it's going to be done by someone of the same gender as you. And you can understand why they would use that same gender distinction, but should that ever matter when you're going through customs and you need to get your passport stamped? Apparently it did for a bunch of Hindu priests in Canada because their lifestyle involves no contact whatsoever with women. What's more is that the Canada Border Services Agency accommodated their request. They took steps to ensure that the sadhus, as they were called, were processed separately and had their passports stamped by male officers. My concern isn't about their religious beliefs, I mean, who cares, but about how far the government should bend over to accommodate their requests. Would the same accommodation have been made if this was some white supremacist group and they wanted a non-white officer? What if it was an evangelical Christian pastor who didn't want to be processed by someone wearing a turban? Where should the line be drawn, and how did this not cross it? I'm also trying to figure out how the Hindu priests managed to avoid contact with women during every other stage of their flight. I mean, were their flight attendants women? What about their pilots? What about the people sitting next to them on the plane? What about the people who gave them their tickets in the first place? What about the person who checked them onto the plane? I mean, did they ever make this request that they only can be handled by men at any other stage in their journey? And if they didn't, then what makes it so important that they have a man processing their passports when they go through customs? In all of those other situations, I don't think anyone would even dream about telling a female to step aside because these priests needed to work with only men. It would be completely irrational for anyone to do that. I mean, this is a government airport. It's not a temple. The sadhus live in a society where men and women mostly have the same jobs, and they have to work their way around that situation if they can't handle it. I mean, if this was their temple or their homes, I get it. They can self-segregate all they want. But they can't expect everyone else to act like their beliefs are acceptable or respectable. There is a place in our society for reasonable religious accommodations. This is not one of them. This is completely unnecessary, and it sets a bad precedent. What do you think? Do you think this is a reasonable accommodation, or do you think the government went a little too far in accommodating the sadhus' requests? Let us know below, and let's see if we can have a respectful discussion about this. My name is Hemant Mehta, and I write at friendlyatheist.com. Please leave a comment below, and we'll be sure to check it out, and don't forget to subscribe.